Any particular activity that causes the buckling?
Walking. If I walk too much, it will buckle on me. And again, if I'm just tired because I've done too much for the day.
When you say walking, is there a particular distance or anything like that?
Well, I can't walk around the mall anymore.
But when you do walk, you mentioned walking bothers it.
Yeah, it doesn't always buckle, and it will start hurting. Me, it's got a mind of its own. If it wants to buckle, it will buckle.
Have you told your doctors about that?
Oh, yes.
What are your current complaints regarding your knee?
The fact that it hurts all the time.
When you say all the time, constantly?
Yes.
7 days a week?
Yes.
24 hours a day?
If you know.
Yes. Well, I don't know about 24 hours a day. If I'm sleeping, it's probably not hurting me.
But on a daily basis?
On a daily basis, my left knee bothers me a lot.
Can you be more descriptive when you say bothers me?
Form of the question.
Okay, I cannot...
Just feeling or sensation?
Well, it's got a pain on the inside of it. I don't know, on the inside of my leg, okay? There's a pain that is always shooting over toward the front of the knee. I'm sitting here now, and I can feel it. It doesn't hurt me as much when I'm standing.
So it's a shooting type pain?
Yes. If I'm sitting down, it's just a mild shooting pain. You know, constant pain there that you can feel. If I'm walking, then it hurts. I mean, it's like every step I take, I can feel the pain.
Just so I'm clear, do you feel that shooting type pain when you're walking, or is it...
Yeah, it's like the knee doesn't want me to use it, so it's telling me, get off of me. So it's an aggravating pain that shoots through there, and as I keep using the knee, because I cannot sit down 24 hours a day, it will steadily get worse, and then I end up putting ice packs on it or something.
How often do you use the ice packs?
I use more heat. I don't like ice.
Okay.
And I put heat on it maybe once a week.
Heating pad?
Objection.
Yes.
Does that give you some relief, the heat?
Yes.
And I presume you told both of your doctors about that as well?
Object to the form.
Yes.
Any other physical complaints regarding your left or right knee?
The left knee, especially the fact that it keeps buckling on me. It's the buckling is bothering the rest of my body because of it, so...
How often does it buckle?
Well, it buckled 2 weeks ago to the point that I fell on it.
Okay, and how often does it buckle?
It buckled, I don't know, once or twice a month, maybe a little more. Again, it depends on what activity I've had.
Same as with the right knee, depending on cleaning or...
Well, it just depends on how much I'm up and how I'm moving around. You know, if I'm moving fast, my knee doesn't like that, and it will give on me.
Is there anything that you can't do now that you could do before the accident that you're alleging as a result of the accident at Tops?
Please speak slowly.
I can't go bowling with my family anymore. I cannot dance. I have had 2 children get married during the last 2 years, and I have not been able to dance at their weddings. I tripped at my daughter's wedding when we were walking down the aisle, which wasn't very much fun. I cannot go shopping, you know, to the mall. Can't bend down on my knees to wash my kitchen floors anymore, and I cannot run and play with the dogs like I used to. I mean, they may not seem like a lot, but I don't have any entertainment with my family anymore other than to sit in front of a TV or go to the movies.
You mentioned bowling. Did you, before this accident, bowl in a league at all, or just recreationally?
Asked and answered.
This was recreational.
How often would you go bowling?
Once a month.
And when you went bowling, who would you bowl with?
My family and friends from church.
You mentioned dancing. You couldn't dance at your 2 children's...
I love to dance, and everybody knows me as someone who really enjoys dancing. And I could get out there and dance with the youngest of them and keep up, and I can't do it anymore.
Did you dance with any particular organization or just with family?
No, this was just all, you know. Suppose.
That's what you have to put your name in. 210.
210, it feels like 350.
Mr. Corey, with regard to the work performed by your company out at Harkness, other than the subcontract marked as Exhibit A, the verbal items which you discussed, Do you allege there's any other agreements relating to your work out there?
We have a purchase order from Phillip Corporation dated 10/18/88. It's to my attention. It supplies skidster and operator to rough grade sod areas, supplies cement mason on Phillip payroll, install unit pavers, time and material in designated areas, and that's signed by Phillip Taylor.
That's attached as Exhibit A on the interrogatory response, Bob.
It's right on the top of my pile here.
There you go. So we didn't catch you by surprise?
Not totally. Mr. Corey, the purchase order that you have already referred to has just been marked as Exhibit D, correct?
That's correct.
Now, you had mentioned earlier, I understand that you had a verbal agreement to supply a skidster and operator for the rough grading. Is this the same skidster and operator that's referenced in this Exhibit D, or is it different?
No, this is the same.
All right, the next item on this Exhibit D, that October 18, 1988 purchase order, is to supply a cement mason on Phillip's payroll. Did you provide Phillip with a cement mason?
Yes, we did.
And who was that?
Phillips Majors, Sebastian Packard, Bart Hedgers, I think that was it. I'm not exactly sure, though.
Were they all supplied at the same time, or did it change periodically?
It changed periodically.
Did Phillip pay these individuals when they were on Phillip's payroll?
That I wouldn't know.
All right, but you didn't pay for their salary when they were on Phillip's payroll?
Objection.
At one time, I got stuck paying them, yes.
How much?
Days labor.
For who?
I think it was Phil Majors. I think it was just Phil Majors.
Did Majors submit his time to you initially, or did it go to Phillip initially, for which you paid him on?
No, I think it was submitted to Phillip. All of their hours were submitted to Phillip.
Well, how did you learn that, or how did it come about that you paid for one day?
Well, I can't remember exactly. It was either the payroll was turned in late, or they refused to pay him for the day. I can't remember exactly the...
All right, and who at Corey's Landscaping would know?
I would probably have to talk to Phil about it and refresh my memory.
It's not part of the lawsuit anyway, Bob. I mean, you're spending a lot of time on something we are not making a claim on.
The next item on Exhibit D is, quote, install unit pavers, time and material, close quote. In December 88, did you install unit pavers?
No, I did not.
Now, Mr. Corey, in Corey's Landscaping response to Phillip's demand for statements, witnesses, photographs, and agreements, you've listed a number of witnesses here.
I'll get it.
You listed Daniel Kirby as a potential witness, and you've gone over a number of the verbal agreements which you asserted took place with Mr. Kirby.
Yes.
Other than what you discussed regarding these agreements, do you know what role Mr. Kirby had with the project as you saw it on a day-to-day basis?
Only if you understand the question.
I'm not exactly sure what you're asking.
Was Mr. Kirby on the project on a day-to-day basis?
No.
Okay, was he involved in any of the day-to-day operations at the project?
No.
Other than the verbal agreements you talked about with Mr. Kirby, anything else that you're claiming Mr. Kirby has either indicated to you or promised you with regard to this project?
I'm not exactly sure what you're asking me.
All right. Did Mr. Kirby make any promises to you with regard to payment?
Yes, he did.
And what was that?
That I would be paid the contract amount, and plus there was going to be a nice large bonus at the end of the project for me because I helped him turn it around.
Okay, and that was the discussion that took place in June
That's correct.
or July.
There were a number of correspondences attached in our response to demand for production of documents that talk about events which occurred in the spring of 1989. You might want to ask about those.